Okay, so how do we break negative cycles? I'm sure we've all asked ourselves that at one point or another in our lives. Well, that's what I'm going to be discussing very briefly today. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. You are awesome. You are amazing. There is no doubt about that. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Okay, so how do we break negative cycles? That's something that I'm not sure if the world has been able to figure out, but I think I'm onto something, and I can say that I'm onto something with surety because it has worked for me, and I know that it too will work for you. So the first way to break any cycle, whether it be negative or somewhat negative, I don't know if there's somewhat negative cycles, but the best way, the first and only way to break a negative cycle is to realize that you are in one. It's just like breaking a bad habit. The only way that we can break a bad habit is to realize that we have one. It's like an addict. The only way an addict can truly seek help is if first they admit to themselves that they have a problem. It's the same with cycles. The only way to break negative habits, or to get off the hamster wheel, or to stop going around and around and around in circles, is to admit to self that we are stuck in a cycle. We are stuck in a bad habit, because everything requires admitting to self, the mind, the heart, connecting together, coming together as one, and admitting that there's a problem. Because the only way we can fix a problem is to admit that there is a problem. And in order to admit that there is a problem, we must first recognize the problem, right? The same thing holds true when it comes to cycles, breaking negative cycles. We have to admit and or recognize that there is a cycle, that we're stuck in this illusion, this thing called a cycle. Picture a hamster on a wheel going around and around and around. And the hamster is saying to itself, okay, I'm tired of this. I need to get off this wheel. Now, hamsters naturally get off wheels. When they feel fatigued, they stop themselves and they get off of the wheel and they rest. As humans, sometimes we feel the need to get things done, or the need to succeed, or any type of bad habit or something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bad habit. See, that's another trick of this thing called the hamster wheel mentality. Because a lot of us like to work. A lot of us like to watch TV. But anything done in excess is a problem. Anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything done in excess means that it's now out of control, has become a habit. And any type of habit, especially one that consumes you, that you're no longer controlling, you're no longer in control of, is bad. And it requires us to get off the hamster wheel, because in reality, we have become stuck. And rather than moving forward, we are moving backward, or we're just staying still. And if we're staying still or moving backward, that means that we are stagnant and growth no longer takes place. Recently, I created something called Blooms of June, which I will link here in the description box. It's a beautiful, beautiful wallpaper for your phone. And it reminds us that blooming is necessary, but we can't bloom if we're stuck in cycles. Cycles cause us to not progress forward, but to go backward. Cycles also hinders our self-esteem, because then we look at ourselves, most of us anyway, and we're wondering, okay, why am I back here yet again? Why am I stuck again? And we're stuck again because we're not realizing that at that moment we're stuck in a cycle. That's how tricky cycles can be, negative cycles can be, because we get in the groove of things, and we're now just doing it because it's familiar to us. It's comfortable, right? And almost everything that's comfortable, we like to stay there. No, don't move me, because I'm comfortable here. I belong right here. This feels safe. Even addicts, although most of them want to be released, they want to let that monster go. They feel safe because they don't know what's going to happen if they release that monster. Are they going to spiral even further and faster down and hit rock bottom? See, if I hold on to the monster, at least I know what I'm going to feel like the next moment or the next hour or the next day. If I release it, I'm in new territory. I'm in unfamiliar territory. In other words, I'm afraid. I'm scared. And so fear is something that keeps us stuck in cycles, especially love cycles, or what we deem as love. We attach ourselves to people whom we want to love because we have pure love that we want to give. We want to share that love. We attach ourselves to people who don't have a pure heart, who don't see eye to eye, who don't wish to share the love that they have. And they tend to treat us negatively. And yet we stay because we're hoping that while in the cycle, something will change. That person will change. But as we know, this is a hard pill to swallow. People will only change if they wish to do so. We can't change people. A person changes because they have the heart, the desire to change. They want to do better. They want to be a better person. We can't change bad people. We can't give someone with a negative heart a positive heart. They've got to want a positive heart in order to change. They've got to want to change. So these cycles are repetitive. They keep us stuck and stagnant. So in order to break free from cycles is to recognize that we're stuck in one. And when we recognize that we are stuck in a cycle, oh my, oh my, the power now belongs to us, and it no longer belongs to that thing that's keeping us in a cycle. And it doesn't always have to be a person or a thing. Most people are stuck in cycles because of their mind, their mindset. When we are stuck in a mindset cycle, that requires us to now change our mindset. We have to get in the mirror, i.e. mirror work, and we have to admit that, okay, there's something going on up here and I need to check this. There's something very wrong. These two aren't connecting. Because see, in order to break free from a cycle, we have to connect with truth, right? Because truth admits that we're in a cycle. We're stuck on the hamster wheel, around and around and around, like those little cute hamsters, running. Yet they know how to get off and we don't. But like I said, when we admit to self that we are stuck, we have all the power then. And that requires us now, that power that we have gained requires us to make a choice. Yes, I'm going to get off the hamster wheel, or no, I'm going to stay here because it's safe here. I'm comfortable here. Getting off the hamster wheel is going to require work. Staying on the hamster wheel is not. Getting off the hamster wheel means that I'm going to progress forward. Staying on the hamster wheel, meaning that I'm not going to progress. I'm going to just stay here and remain stagnant. See, it requires choice because everything, and people will fight this, people will battle this, people will write about this, people will say that this is not true, but it is true. Everything in life is a choice. Everything. We have to choose to do things. We have free will. It's a choice, which is why there is free will. Free will means the choice to choose everything. There's no in between. It's either a yes or no. Because at the end of the day, we're going to decide whether to do something or to not do something. See, everything in life is a choice. And getting off the hamster wheel, breaking negative cycles is a choice, because when we admit to self that we are stuck in a cycle, therefore we then have to choose, okay, am I going to remove myself from this cycle or am I going to stay here? It's all a choice. So the first and the only way to break free from negative cycles is to admit to self, or to recognize that you're stuck in one. And then you have to admit to yourself, okay, I'm stuck. I know that I'm stuck. Now I have to get out of the cycle or off the hamster wheel. However, in order to do that, I have to make the choice to get off. So truly, Out of all the research out there, the only way to break a negative cycle is to realize that you're stuck in one. I had to realize that I was stuck in a negative cycle in order to say, you know what? No more. I'm done. I'm not going to repeat chaos and madness, insanity, right? That's a form of insanity. And so in order for me to break the cycle that I was in, I had to make a choice to no longer be on the hamster wheel. And that's what I want you to do. So if you've been there, if you are there, I'd love to know how you broke your cycle. So please let me know, drop me a comment. Let me know if you're stuck in a cycle, if you're having problems removing yourself, because a lot of the times our heart is stuck along with the cycle. Our heart, because it's a part of us in here, right? It's stuck in the cycle, especially when it comes to what we call love. So no one wants to move away from the cycle because at least you have a little bit of that person or a little bit of that thing. If you remove yourself from the cycle or if you get off the hamster wheel totally, you no longer have that thing or a piece of that thing. So it's hard. It's not easy. I'm not sitting here saying that it's easy. I'd be lying to you if I sat here and I said breaking free of negative cycles was easy. Like every great thing in life, it takes work. Every great thing takes work. That's just the way it is, just the way the cookie crumbles. Nobody knows why. It is what it is. So I just wanted to share that with you all, because if you're stuck in a cycle, it's my hopes, my prayers that you are able to break free from that negative cycle. Let me know your thoughts. I'm Katie Gates, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, share it, hit the notification bell. All of that helps push the content forward to help other people. So like I said, you are awesome. You are amazing. There is no doubt about that. I'm Katie Gates. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, bye.